Well, good morning, folks. I want to talk about hair. My hair is naturally curly or wavy. So, curly and wavy hair is naturally drier. When growing up in Panama, a Latin American country, most people would say, so and so, her hair is damaged. And what they mean by damaged is because what is damaged? Is damaged because it's frizzy? Is that damaged? Or is it frizzy because it's damaged? Or is it frizzy because it's curly? Or because it's humid? So this is my hair, curly. And when there's less humidity, it's smoother. When there's more humidity, it's frizzy. I know that most women don't like frizzy hair, but it was all the rage in the 80s. In the 80s, when the gels and the mousse and the hairspray was the big thing, everybody wanted frizzy hair. And girls would even purposely tease it, back combing it to get that really big, what we call wave. Okay, they would like cut their bangs like this, and I could never get it. I could never get it because it took a special technique. And they would take it and they would like back comb it, right? Back comb it, and then you would get this like the, and then they would do this thing like this and spray it. That was like the big thing in the 80s, right? My hair, this is my natural hair, okay? I do color it with a natural hair color once in a blue moon, like once in a blue moon, when my hair needs a little oomph, And so I've always had like different hair textures and different hair colors. Like one day my hair will be a curly coil when it falls on the ground. One day it will be like a wiry, wild thing. And one day it will be like very smooth, baby fine hair. So I have different textures and different colors. And so to even it all out, I just like consistently put this natural hair color in it. Been doing it for years now. It has a little Hamsa hand on it. And but anyway, make a long story short, I like my hair natural as possible because people say, oh, use this product for damaged hair that we ourselves are damaging with all these chemicals we're putting in our hair. So people will bleach their hair, dye their hair, bleach it again, dye in another color it and perm it, and do this and do that, and do the flat iron or blow dry it or whatever. First of all, I've always been very practical with my hair. I don't like to spend too much time with my hair. I have bought, when I was much, much younger, I bought these hot rollers, and I could never figure out how they go on the hair. And once you get it on the hair kind of haphazardly, me. And you have to walk around the house about your business. I didn't like the weight of it on my head. Like it was too heavy. I felt like it was gonna yank my hair out. So I was like, I don't have patience for this. So I would literally like put it on for like 1 minute and and be like regretting it because it was too hot and it was too much time to do the entire head. So I do like the hot comb. I do like a hot comb because a hot comb will be less damaging than a hot iron, and it's much more effective for my purposes. If I wanted my bangs to go just so, I would just do that, and then my bangs kind of stay just so. It takes the frizz out and makes it smoother, so it makes it lay the way you want it. But I say the less heat on your hair, the better. They do have a hot technique in Dominican Republic. They have perfected the art of straightening the hair naturally without chemicals with this very, very hot iron. And it's like a hot comb with a blow dryer, and they will do that. And this is really good for thick, coarse hair. Really thick, coarse hair, because in Dominican Republic they have a lot of people with thick, coarse hair, and I'm talking thick hair. Thick hair is beautiful. Who doesn't want thick hair? I want thick hair. I think thick hair equals youth, equals beauty. So if you have thick hair, be grateful. So, you know, there's so many things that you can do with hair, whether it's curly or straight. You can braid it, you can put it up in a bun, you can put it up in a banana clip, I have seen so many cute hairstyles now that women are embracing their afro hair. I have seen so much beautiful, you know, like they'll braid it halfway and then they'll put little beads in it, like jewelry, and it just looks very exotic. And this is what the Egyptians did back in the days, except because when it was very hot back in the days in Egypt, the way people controlled, they didn't have air conditioning, and they didn't have the cooling systems that we have now, you know. So back then their solution was to shave their thick hair and then just use wigs for their events, you know. But in the privacy of their areas, they were bald, even the women. And we know this from having studied history and having studied the Egyptian culture. And the wigs that they used were afro wigs. This was like afro hair, and it was beautiful. It was thick, and it had, you know, braids and beads in it. And so whatever kind of hair you have, whether in, I believe that smooth, long, smooth hair is beautiful too. You know, now I remember back in the 80s and 90s, people purposely would perm their hair and tease it and backcomb it and hairsprayed it and gelled it and moussed it, and that was it. That was the style. And styles come and go. So now it's like smooth hair is in. It has been for a while. People will hot comb it. Even if you already have straight hair, the straighter the better, right? So, I mean, we go through phases, but the more we expose our hair to these chemicals and the heat and the products, then the more product you have to use to fix it. So we just need to detox the stuff that we're doing to our hair and our scalp. That's what I was telling my son Jacob. I said, Jacob has beautiful hair. I love his hair dark on him. And my son decided, well, I'll just play with it. And he's going through a stage. He's still in human growth and development. And it's his freedom of expression. His freedom of, that's his God-given right, with his freedom to do whatever he wants with his body and with his hair. But I encouraged him. I said, Jacob, go back to your natural hair because it's just beautiful, you know. And but we have to, you know, be concerned with the health of the scalp. Okay. Now, talking about inflammation, that the hair loss sometimes is from inflammation. When we experience hair loss, we experience like inflammation, like you can feel it, like it hurts, the scalp hurts. Okay, the inflammation can be inside too, and you know, and this is what, you know, leads to cancer. But I want you to know that, as with everything, is temporary. We don't need to be treating cancers in such a harsh manner and be so hasty to diagnose and hasty to treat aggressively, because inflammation sometimes can be chronic, but it is still treatable. And inflammation can be under control. We know that. So inflammation is not just, the inside, is outside too, obviously, when we have the flare-ups of the skin, different rashes and different scalp conditions. Like, the best thing you can do is just like calm down, soothe it, with aloe vera, chamomile, lavender, rosemary, but in moderation, because these things have essential oils, and these things can be harsh as well, especially when you're exposed to the sun. So you've got to use these things wisely. It's better to do like a tea, like a rosemary tea is good for graying hair, to prevent graying hair. You just put the rosemary in the water and let it come to a boil, and for a few minutes, and extract the rosemary, juice, if you will, out of it. And with that tea, you can put it on your scalp as a rinse. And that's what they used to do back in the days for keeping it dark. Now, chamomile is kind of like the opposite of rosemary, in that is for blondes. So I try not to use chamomile too much. I only use it when I have inflammation, because it's a good anti-inflammatory. So I try not to use it too much, and I try to use a combination of them to kind of balance out, because chamomile can also lighten the hair. So we've got to be careful how we use chamomile, unless that's what you want to do. But if you want to lighten your hair naturally, use chamomile. If you want to darken it naturally, use rosemary. If you want to use both of them together to have an effect that's not necessarily going to lighten or darken your hair, but it's going to be good for inflammation and prevent gray, that's good. It's all good for the scalp. So, you'll see oftentimes rosemary and tea tree in shampoos, because tea tree is also really good for the scalp. So we've got to understand these things we're doing to ourselves, and then we're trying to fix it. It's like, just the less the better sometimes, And so I want y'all to know that I work. Here in the house, I may be broke financially, but I'm constantly working, constantly. I am constantly transcribing something, or constantly reading something, constantly cleaning something, constantly. I do the dishes here, I do the vacuuming, I do the laundry, I do everything. That is housekeeping. So it's not like I'm just sitting back and smooching off people. No, I'm working, and I could very well be taking care of my son, Alexander. So our government is not utilizing taxpayers' money to pay somebody else to take care of my son, whom I birthed, because my son wants to be with me as well. Because I don't do drugs with my money that I don't have. But even if I did have money, I would spend it wisely. I would go to the health food store and get myself some healthy things, or go to the grocery store and get myself some healthy things to save me money from going to the health food store, because I go to these stores first, and then I go to the health food store with things that I cannot find at the regular store. I like to go to all of the grocery stores. I like to go to Walmart and Winn-Dixie and Publix and Aldi's. And, I like to save my money. I go to TJ Maxx and Marshall's first. Why wouldn't you, before you go to the mall? I think it's very smart that they have places like this for the poor or people on a budget. And I've even seen wealthy ladies over there, because why wouldn't they want to save while they spend their husband's money? Or maybe they're spending their own money because they work at home. Their husbands pay them a salary because they deserve it, because they're housekeepers.
So just because somebody's a housekeeper, don't assume that they're not working. So this is the message for today. Woo! Hallelujah! Praise the Lord. And I'm not delusional thinking that I am the Jesus. I'm here to tell you that we are Jesus. We are made in the image of God, male and female, and we are Jesse us. Yes, us. Y equals J equals I. Jes, yes, us. That's right. I may be Christian, but I ain't stupid. Thank you.